Welcome YouTube, and welcome to the channel. Welcome back if you've been here before. If you're new to the channel, thank you very much for joining. It's a bit of a different one today. We're in the garage with the Africa Twin. Let's go. Good afternoon, welcome to the garage. So this is the start of an unusual series for me. Normally it's tours, but this time it's going to be looking at the new bike I've got and the work I'm going to do on it. As I'm the new owner, I want to make it my own, clean it up a bit, maybe add some mods, but it's going to be quite an in-depth refurb over the winter, so a bit of a winter project. Without further ado, let's show you the bike. So it's, I want to say 1991 Africa Twin. It was registered in 91, but it's actually a 1990 bike. So it's the XRV 750L. So the first iteration of the 750 Africa Twin in this country. Just picked it up about a month or so ago. Very pleased with it. One owner from new. 34-year-old bike. It's generally in fairly good condition, but it's just lacking a bit of TLC. There's a few things on it, like crack in the fairing there. Got lots of stickers on these fairings, they'll need to come off. I love these crash bars, but they need a bit of TLC as well. All a bit rusty, so they'll be coming off, going for powder coat. The wheels are in fairly good condition, or at least they look that way from the outside. So we'll get them off, we'll have a look at those. As you know, they do suffer from corrosion, generally from the inside around the spoke mounts. So we'll have a look at that. Quite dirty and grubby under there. I mean, the whole thing's dirty, I think, once it's cleaned up. Little things like these brake pipes are not routed correctly, so we'll sort that out. The grille needs a bit of paint as well. But I love this old thing. We'll put a slightly taller touring windscreen on this, and then we'll generally just tidy up everything else. The engine's quite dirty, so probably go as far as getting the engine out, I think. I don't know yet. We'll see once we get started. Change the chain and sprockets to get a slightly better drive ratio. Just bring those revs down by about 500 RPM at motorway cruising speeds. Anyway, I don't want to waffle on too long about that. You'll sort of see the process as we go through it if you stick with me and follow me. I'll try and make it as interesting as possible. If we get a long job, I'll sort of time lapse it so it doesn't take too long for you viewing it. And of course, you know, you can ask me any questions in the comments underneath. I'll give you any info you need about, you know, prices of parts, where I got the parts from, difficulties with certain jobs, things like that. So hopefully you'll find it interesting. First job today is going to be draining out the oil. I've just taken it out for a run, so it's nice and warm, and we'll get that oil drained out before. So removing the remaining fuel, I always do this outside, partly because of the vapour, partly because if it overflows, you really don't want fuel running all around your garage. Okay, that's running. I didn't get a mouthful of fuel, which is always a bonus. Looks like there's not a huge amount left in there. You can see all the bubbles going down the pipe already, but there we go. Right, so next we're going to take off the crash bars, followed by the bash plate. That'll give us good access to all the fairings. Don't know if you can see there, but the bash plate, yeah, you've got 4 Allen bolts there and another 4 at the top. So 8 altogether. I've already taken out the bolts at the rear end there, where it fastens to the frame just by the footrest. Okay, that's one off. There we go. And that's the left hand one off.
Anyway, yeah, because bear in mind Balsam's wanted 420.
They both come off in one. There's at least one missing fastener. And finally, the 2 quick release Zeus fasteners, and we're free. 10mm socket, universal joint, handlebars turned, and a presto. Okay, let's get the fuel tank off. So I think it's three fixings, Allen key either side, and then a bolt on top. Okay, bolt number 2 out, or Allen bolt number 2 out, I should say. Right, I've disconnected the 2 fuel sensors. That's the tank off. Okay, it's always interesting the first time you get a tank off and you can actually see the state of everything underneath. So the carburetors just need a bit of cleaning really, just look a bit dirty on the outside there. Choke cable, push and pull throttle cables, just all a bit gooed up, but we'll get all that cleaned up. This is the throttle idle adjust, which is moving and working. Right, that's probably going to be it for today as the light is fading. So I think what I'll do is I'll put the bike away and we'll carry on next time. So we're going to remove this rear subframe. So first of all, I'm going to disconnect the lights. I've got a few crimps in here that I put in to apply these new indicators, because when it came in I had the whole givey rack thing on the back with different indicators. So to make it road legal for a short period, I did this. These are bullet connectors. I'm going to change these out. I'm going to put proper crimps in there. I'm going to disconnect it here instead, or at least that's the plan. So we're going to look at doing that now. Feed these out through here. Okay. A couple more wiring clips in there. There we go. Right. Whee. This exhaust can had seen better days, and it was also the exhaust can for an RD07, not an RD04, so it had been causing a few issues with the side panels, etc. So my plan is to replace this with a replica, a Dakar replica for an RD04. So that should fit a lot better and look a lot better on the end result. Okay, exhaust off. think the airbox was probably the most difficult part of the strip down. I know that might sound strange, but it had multiple disconnects and it was only coming out in one orientation, and once you'd taken off all the relevant sticky out bits, so to speak. So it was a bit of a challenge and took a bit of thinking about, but I guess it's like a lot of things, once you've done it once then it all becomes more straightforward. So you can see progress on the bike so far, it's pretty good. So we've got most of the, we've got the rear subframe off, we've got all the fenders off. The airbox is disconnected, waiting to come out, but the rear wheel needs to come off to allow it out through that aperture. Don't want to take the rear wheel off just yet because we're going to go outside when it's dry to drain the coolant. So today we're going to do other things. So today I think we're going to work on the front end a little bit. We're going to do the headlight and the instrument clusters. We're going to get those off, and that'll be another job done. Maybe the ignition as well. We'll see how far we get. Okay, so let's get this unit off. One bolt out. The other bolt out. Oh, I thought there were just those two, but clearly there's another one. Oh, it's in two little, it's got two locators on it, so okay, so we've got three relays on the back of it as well. Come off at various angles. Yeah, so I could see. There we go. Right, she's off. Okay, that just plugs. Well, the lamps just pull out of the inside. Okay. Headlight assembly. 3. There we go. Well, this comes off all in one go. Speedo cable off. Blue. Oh, that's it. That's it. Seriously, you glued it on. Seriously. Free the main loom and lift it clear. Okay, fuse box free. So there'd finally been a break in the weather and I'd managed to get the bike outside to drain the coolant. Sorry I didn't film it. So it was time to get back round to the rear end of the bike and start to remove chain guard, rear wheel and then airbox. So you might be wondering why the chain guard is still in place at this point. Well, there's a tab on the inside of it that, through all the muck and the grime, looked like it was another screw. So I was going to get the wheel out of the way so I could access the screw, but then with that removed, turned out it was a tab and it just slid off. One of the most effective things during a refurbishment project of this type is the labelling and bagging of parts as you remove them, and also the taking of photographs just to remember the orientation of certain things, positions of brackets, that sort of thing. It really does help enormously when you come to the rebuild part of the project and enables you to do it a lot more efficiently. So taking off the brake calipers. Forgot to take the plate off. A stiff caliper. This one might have been binding a little bit. Ooh. Yeah, that was stiff. Okay. Front brake system off. So I'm just going to take off the upper bracket for the crash bars, which will then give me access to the bolts for this plastic front guard, which will then give me access to the lower pipe for this radiator. Clutch cable routing is dubious, to say the least. Maybe that's got something to do with the slightly heavy clutch action. Oh, you bugger. Right. front guard off. Thermostat housing off. Getting the main wiring loom off seemed like a real milestone in the strip down of this bike, and felt like I was really making some progress. Spurred me on to keep going. Thank you so much for watching through until this point, and I really hope you enjoyed it. We're about halfway through the strip down now, and the next episode will be coming along soon. Please keep an eye out for it. Thanks again.